Hey guys, what's up? It's Rygar the Destroyer, and today we're going to be taking a look at the First Order Riot Control Stormtrooper from the Hot Toys Finn and Stormtrooper 2-pack. This guy is pretty cool, but before we take a closer look at him, let's go ahead and take a look at his packaging. Let's see, here it is. It's got a really nice image of Finn and the Stormtrooper here on the front. And then on all the sides, there's nothing but the Star Wars logo, and then on the back, again, there isn't much. When you open up the box, however, there is a very, very well done image of the figures, and frankly, they did such a nice job on this. I feel like it could be framed. It looks that good. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back to the figure itself here. This Stormtrooper stands at, let's see here, exactly 12 inches tall. So he's going to be right in scale with all of your other 12-inch and 1/6 scale action figures. And he does come with a ton of accessories here. I'll go ahead and run through those. The first one, of course, is his base. It's got a U stand with the First Order insignia here, and it is labeled here at the front, which is pretty nice. His next accessory, and one of the reasons why you may want to buy in the 2-pack opposed to any other one, is the Riot Control shield here. One thing that's kind of cool is this little piece here is see-through, which is cool, and then this just velcros onto his arm really nicely, and then there's foam there so that it doesn't scratch the figure, which is nice. His next accessory, and another exclusive, is his baton. And this does have some features. I'll go ahead and point them out here, but let's go ahead and take a look at the detail on here. Really nice, and of course this does fit into his hands. So you can pull this apart carefully, and you can see that these can be flipped around to be in the action pose. I won't do that in the video, but I will show you in the instructions. It does show how it looks when it is opened. Just for the sake of time, I won't do that on camera, but it looks pretty nice like that. And the fasteners on there are actual metal, so you don't have to worry about them being too thin or anything. He also comes with the energy effects to wrap around it to make it look like it's sparking and stuff, which is pretty cool. His next accessory is his blaster here, if it will focus, which does look absolutely fantastic, and it does have this handle that flips down here, which is pretty nice. And another feature with this and with the baton is that it can be held onto his hip here, which is pretty cool. It's just held on with magnets, and you don't have to worry about it falling off. It is on there once it's on there. I'll go ahead and show off the hands that I have on the figure here. One kind of grip hand for holding the baton, and one loose grip hand, and then those two are repeated on the opposite sides. If you wanted him to be flip-flopped or whatever, you could do that. He does have one open grip hand, which is very well done. He's got two trigger finger hands, again, very well done, and they do grip the gun nicely. Then he's got two fist hands here, again, done incredibly well. Then there's this piece. It's very small, so that's why I held it off, but that's just for the Riot Control or baton. So that's whenever you go into the attack mode on the baton. And then he does come finally with two extra ball pegs for his wrists in case you break one, you're not just screwed. So let's go ahead and get back to the figure itself here. Well, first off, I'll say that the First Order Stormtrooper looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, it looks just like it does in the movie. However, the articulation on this figure is really not that great. Finn's was absolutely fantastic, you know, but unfortunately, because of the armor and because of the undersuit on this figure, its articulation is really seriously affected. We'll go ahead and run through it here. He's got a double ball peg in the head, which gives a pretty reasonable range of motion. There's not a ton that you can do to get more out of it just because of the sculpt of the helmet and with the armor. He does have a butterfly joint in the armpit with a ball hinge on top of that, which goes up about this far, which is pretty good again. Nothing wrong there. And it can swing forward just a little bit and a little bit back. He does have a bicep swivel in there, which is restricted because of the suit again. Double jointed elbows, they get about 90 degrees, and then a ball peg with a swivel on in the wrist and in the forearm, so you get a nice range there. There is articulation in the chest, but I can't seem to get mine to move at all just because of the armor is so tight. And then here's where the articulation, in my opinion, sort of falls apart, is in the hips. That's as far out as they go. They don't hardly go forward at all. That's about as far forward as I can get them, about as far back. So he's basically going to be standing straight up and down all the time. There is a thigh swivel in there, but again, it's restricted because of how tight they made the suit here at his hips. Then he's got double jointed knees with a really abysmal range of motion for a double joint there. And then he's got a double ball peg in the toe, or in the ankle, excuse me, that gives a nice range. And then they did this articulation here at the toe, which allows you to bend it up and down. Frankly, in my opinion, that could have been left out, and I wish they had worked more on getting this articulation here to work better instead of adding extra articulation that, in my opinion, isn't necessarily needed. So, overall, do I think this is a bad figure? Not at all. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. And I think that it will look great on a shelf, but I think that if you're really into posing a figure dynamically, this one will disappoint you just because of the limited range in the shoulders, the shoulder areas, and at the elbows, knees, and hips. It can get a little frustrating to pose this guy, and basically having no articulation here in the torso at all. So overall, do I recommend the 2-pack? Yes, I do. I think that this is a good way to get a First Order Stormtrooper as well as a Finn figure, and then you get all of the accessories that they could have possibly come with. And of course, you don't have to pose him with the Riot control gear at all. You could have him just as a regular Stormtrooper. So if you have any comments or questions, please leave them down in the comment section below, and I guess I'll see you later.